newfound love of smoking my own meats and fish at home. And today I'm going to show you a really easy way of smoking duck. It has a seriously delicious flavour and it's very easy to do as long as you have a wok that has a lid with it. So most of us have one of these at home. Simply, we start with 2 pieces of foil and I've just placed that at the bottom of the wok. Also, a little rack like this works fantastic with this, and we just want it to sit quite snug in the wok. So we've got to start with a mix, a smoking mix, and there are so many different ways of doing this and so many different flavours. For this duck recipe, I love the flavour of star anise with it. So I've got a few star anise here and I've just crushed them in a mortar and pestle. I'm going to pop them in a bowl along with half a cup of black tea, along with half a cup of rice, and this is just going to carry the flavours and build up that smoke that we're looking for. Also, I've got some brown sugar, so 2.5 tablespoons of that. Okay, so we'll just get our hands in there and just give that a good mix and combine it really well, get all those flavours together. You could also use wood chips for this recipe, so just change it up, just use a couple of good handfuls of it. Applewood's fantastic and you can get that from all hardware stores. So let's take that wire rack out and we just sprinkle our smoking mixture on the base. I can already start to smell that star anise, and if I can smell it, I know as soon as that heat hits it, it's going to be sort of a double whammy of the smell. So on with that. We're going to pop that on a high heat, lid on, and let's just leave that for about 6 to 8 minutes, or just as soon as you start to see a little bit of smoke coming from the sides here, we're ready to add the duck. So for the sauce to go with this duck, I've got 150 millilitres of ketchup mayonnaise, so that's a sweet soy sauce. We want that to go straight into a little pot like this. And 80 millilitres of soy sauce, and I'm just going to measure that out. So it's probably, yes, perfect. So again, sweet and the salty, we're just wanting to balance that. In that goes a little bit more sweetness with this duck. So I've got some brown sugar and my favourite, ginger. And I want a good amount of ginger. What I'm going to do is just peel this. So a friend of mine showed me how to peel this with a spoon. See, we're not taking any of the flesh off. We're just taking that really thin piece of skin. So I'm just going to grate a good knob of ginger straight into this sauce, and we're going to have that on a sort of a medium heat, just dissolving that sugar and just bringing all those flavours together. And as I speak, you can actually see the smoke coming out of this wok. So I know we're almost ready to add our duck. So let's put this on the board, just like so. And I just want to pat that dry, and we're going to pop that straight into the wok. Okay, so here we go. There's going to be a lot of smoke. Yes. So don't be afraid. It looks like it's burning, but that's what it's supposed to do. We want that to just really penetrate into that meat and leave the skin on. The skin will take on that wonderful flavour too. So lid back on, and we're going to cook that on sort of a medium heat for 6 minutes. I'm going to turn the heat off and just allow that duck to sit in that smoke so it can penetrate all those wonderful flavours. So I've removed the duck from the wok. The beautiful thing about putting that alfoil down on the bottom is that there's very little mess, so you just have to throw it out. Although, do open the windows because I tell you what, it will be very smoky. So to finish this off, it is actually cooked. What I would like to achieve is crispy skin. So I've got a pan on a medium heat, skin side down, just for 3-4 minutes maximum. We're not going to be turning it over. We'll just get that fat to render and get that crispy skin just to finish it off. Over here, that sauce is thickened now. It's sweet, it's luscious. You know, these are really bold flavours that we've got here. So I'm just going to take that off the heat, let it cool down just slightly. We'll wait for that duck to finish, and then I'll slice it and you'll see how beautiful this is inside. So I've allowed the duck just to rest and we can start slicing into it now. Look, I like my duck to be quite rare, but if you want it to be cooked a little bit more, what you do is simply cook it for, 2 or 3 minutes on the side of the skin, then turn it over. But, tell you what, look at this, this is cooked to perfection, nice and rare. Thin slices for this. It's smoked duck, so it will have, you know, really rich flavour to it. So you don't want big chunks of it. And this is definitely a starter. You wouldn't have a whole duck breast like this to yourself. So this is our sauce, and you can see it's thickened up a little bit. It's sweet, again, it's rich. It's got that saltiness from the soy. And I like to just get a pastry brush. This is a little bit fancy, you don't have to do this at home. Just get a rectangular plate like this, and just brush some of that sauce on. I don't want to overpower the duck because it is smoky and that's what we want to taste. Right, let's place our duck on, just like that, and carefully place it on that sauce. Look at that, it's just glossy, it's stunning. I've also got just some coriander here, I've got some Thai basil and some spring onions, and this is simply just for a little bit of colour. I just like to place that on the top there. I mean, who would have thought you could smoke at home? It is easy. You could see, as long as you've got a wok, you can achieve this. And you know, be adventurous, try different things. I'm using duck today. You can try a little bit of